let everyone join. I'll just tag him in it. So hi guys, welcome to Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs. Yes, I am live on a Monday and it is back to a usual Monday evening. It's been a while, but nevertheless we do have a special guest joining us this evening. You may see from the title, you may have seen from the post today, but we have the legend that is of course Alan Hyde joining us very soon for a live chat. Please do keep your questions and of course comments very sensible. Well, please keep them sensible, and hopefully it should be a good night. We're going to be live till about probably 9:30 tonight. We'll see how well this interview goes, or this chat goes, should I say. But I am looking forward to having Alan Hyde joining us for a bit of a chat about motorsport, how he got involved in motorsport, or how his journey in motorsport began. A bit about Tin Top Tuesday. Some of you guys may know Tin Top Tuesday, that he broadcasts on a Tuesday evening when it's obviously British Touring Car related, as well as of course the BTCC. Bit of like, you know, how he finds like what you know, from Super Touring potentially, as well as what the current date with the hybrid, as well as a bit about yeah, so basically covering a bit of basics really. But hopefully he'll be on in a couple of minutes time. But I thought I'd jump in just to give you guys a bit of a head start. But good evening to everyone. It is going to be hopefully a good one. I'm looking forward to this. But you know, it's been a bit of a how can I put it? It's not been like I don't know how to explain it. Been a bit of a interesting week, we say, but this one should be a cracker. I'm looking forward to, you know, having Alan, as I say, for a chat about motorsport. Good evening. He's just logging in as we speak, so that's great. But what I'll do, I'll just I can't get the Facebook link. That's annoying, but I'll say good evening to our adoring fan base. Good evening to Daryl. Good evening to Tracy. Hope you guys are doing well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I hope you guys are. But obviously, please remember questions. Don't spam the question millions of times. If I don't see it or don't react to it, don't think I'm ignoring the question. If you do have an important question, do put the checkered flag, because then I think then I will, you know, would definitely see that. But we're going to be talking about, as I say, Tin Top Tuesday, how he got involved in motorsport, and a bit about the British touring cars. As I say, it's first time since probably the chat with Mikey Doble, and of course John Chambers back in July was the last chat we've done. So it's been a while, so it may be a bit rusty to start with, but I'm looking forward to this. If you guys don't mind sharing this round, if you're on various Facebook groups, or if you want to share it to your own personal page because you've got racing drivers on there, then please do, because it will be a pleasure to have. We've got hopefully quite a lot of guests. I think Alan will have a few people watching from his end, as well as people watching from our end, so you know, it's going to be a cracker. I'm just going to put this out here now, guys. Any questions that you do have, and I didn't mispronounce your or misread your question, don't be offended, because you know, it's just how I may read it. But yeah, I'm glad to be back after a bit of a low week last week. I'm not going to go into too much details, but right, he is here. Or I could try and invite you. Is it going to allow me? Give us 1 second, I'll try and I can't find some reason to find you to invite you, mate. I think you might have to like the page as well, because it does sometimes tend to sometimes asks you to request to join or like the page, I think. I can't remember how I've done it because it's been a while. Share broadcast. Yeah, it won't let me share it for some reason. Give me 1 second, mate. You've liked the page, okay. Is it going to allow me? Give me 1 sec, mate. Technical difficulties. I hate all this. No results found. Can any of you guys actually give me a hand? Give me 1 sec, mate. Is there a thing where you can request to join? Because it normally comes up. I could start again and then get you to join that way. It's so annoying. Do apologise, ladies and gents. Trying to get everyone in, and it's because he has liked the page. Can't see one. Yeah, see, Daryl's got it. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec, ladies and gents. We're just having technical difficulties at the moment. Yeah, so where the comments are. It's alright, mate. Don't worry. I'm just trying to figure out, because if I type you in, it won't come up with you for some reason on my end. I have WhatsApp instructions. Right. I am here. So we could go, right. No. Bear with us 1 second, guys. Right. So. Oh, this is mad. Why? I was going to put myself on mute a minute. Oh, you're on a Mac. Oh, okay. I don't know, because yeah, it'd be better if you go on your phone, mate. If I'm honest, because I've never used a MacBook. I'm on my phone as well. Sorry, mate. I feel bad. If you go on your phone, mate, remember your phone charger. Sorry, mate. I feel really unorganised. Oh, I feel bad, guys. I'm really sorry. Yeah, if you go on your phone, mate, and make it easier, because then I think you can join via your phone then. I think. It allows you. How dare you say that, Rich? You're trying to make me cough up my guts now, mate. There we go. Let's accept. Fingers crossed this works. Is it gonna work? Fingers crossed it's gonna work. So unprepared myself as well. just needs now. Well, he sent me a request, so it should work. Is it gonna work? Oh, technical difficulties. No answer from the guest. There we
Settings.
go.
There we go.
Sorted.
There we go.
How are you, mate?
Really good. Well, a lot better since I've managed to work out how to do. So that little
Yeah.
icon, which I'd have never found myself, I needed help. But that doesn't appear. If you're looking at it on a browser, it doesn't appear.
Okay.
That's not there.
Yeah.
It's only there on the app.
That's weird because I don't have a MacBook, so I don't know how they work.
No. So, but it's absolutely fine now. We're okay. I'm having to sort of peer down a bit, but it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Evening, Andy.
How are you, mate? How's it going?
Really good. Really good.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this all day. I've been thinking, what am I going to ask you? What we're going to talk about? But we can talk about motorsport, how you got into it, Tin Top Tuesday, British touring cars. We can have a rave, a chat, and we can ask where you got.
There are loads of things that we can talk about, and it's quite interesting actually because somebody asked me just this last weekend, had I ever thought of writing a book? Okay. And my answer was I had thought about it because I've done some interesting things over the years, and I've met some interesting people, and it would be a great idea. And it was something that I did think about during the sort of lockdown period. But my only concern would be, would it be interesting? It would be interesting for me because it would be quite nice to document everything that I've done and when I did it and why I did it and all of those kind of things. But the only thing that I think, would anyone really be interested in hearing it? And maybe they would. Maybe if I was to start sort of working through some of the things that I've done, then it might emerge to be interesting. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I think I'd definitely give it a read if it was out there.
I think it would. Obviously the British Touring Car Championship is something that has been the mainstay certainly of my motorsport career.
Right.
And I've sort of first got involved in commentary 30 years ago, and really quickly appeared at touring car meetings, which was hugely flattering at the time. And you do sort of think, wow, I'm actually part of this now, which is incredible. And done just about all the meetings since 1998. So that's nice. That's a long time. I just missed out a couple in 2020. So that as far as motorsport goes, that's been the mainstay, and has been pretty much the reason why I've got other things as well. One thing leads to another, including motorbikes and MotoGP, World Superbikes, British Superbikes, all that kind of stuff. So it's a wide variety of stuff. Maybe it would be interesting. Maybe it would be good for me to actually do the job and sit down and write stuff down.
Yeah.
If I ever get time.
If you get the time, there's not enough days in the week, and there's not enough hours in the day either.
It is exactly that.
I always think of that when I do these live videos for the adoring fan base that I've got, and it's kind of like I do this as a project. Instead, I have a job outside of this, so it's like I have to go to work in the morning, and then come on to do this. I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah,
I've got to make it.
It makes for a long day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does make for a long day. What do you do during the day, Andy?
I work as a warehouse cleaner for Lakeland.
Do you? Right.
Which is like at the distribution, so it's like kind of like making sure the offices and toilets are clean and canteens are topped up. So
And
it's
that's a long, tiring day, isn't it?
yeah, and it's like well, what can I do? Because I've got to go to work, do this, and then potentially catch up with the missus because she's either at work or I'm either at work or she's at work, and it's like what do I do?
That's a pretty important part. No, you have to do that.
Yeah,
No, and you have to make time.
yeah.
You have to slot everything in, don't you?
Got to make
Which is
time,
the
and
same.
then I've got to make time supporting the Wolverhampton Wanderers as well at the same time.
Does that take up a lot of time, Andy?
Not really. No, it's just a lot of just the things I tend to do now and again. Just
Yeah,
outside of work, like doing the live videos, doing like the vlogs and stuff, like British touring cars and that does take a while because I've got to try and engage with the audience. I've got to try and have the right mindset,
yeah,
not going to
yeah,
like
yeah,
too political about it. But then what people recognise from me, if you can't tell, obviously I'm a huge Dan Robot fan. Come on,
yeah.
someone's got to.
You're in the right part of the world, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, mate. Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like he's the same age as me, but I followed the British touring car for 24 years, 1999, the year after you started working. So really, it shows character, and I remember like it was yesterday. Funny enough, so there's a lot of things I like to do in my spare time as well as listening to you lot on Tin Top Tuesday, doing this, watching the touring guys at the weekend. I wish I could go to every single round, but I can't.
how many do you get to?
At least about 2 this year. Luckily,
Did you?
I was at Snetterton and then I was at Croft this year.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
You didn't go to Donington? That would
right.
be your most local circuit, wouldn't it, Donington?
Croft's the localist one now.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
Croft's
better.
the
I can
local.
see you better now. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah,
So the other thing that you were interested in, I remember you saying this before we went live, was how Tin Top
yeah.
Tuesday came about.
I'd love to
Because
know that.
that is an interesting story, because it was never an intended
Uh,
thing. I didn't intend to do a radio show about touring cars, but a friend of mine works for a company called Globecast, and they do communications and satellite links for TV and all that kind of stuff. And they were doing a lot of live broadcasts from events. So events like horse racing, crafts, sporting events, and running radio stations or live big screen
yeah.
television, that kind of stuff. And what they thought would be a great idea would be to get a radio station on Sky.
Okay.
So get a channel on Sky, radio channel on Sky, and it would be the home of various events over the course of the year. So crafts, when we're doing crafts, a week of crafts on Sky. But and it's quite a lot of money to do it, to get a channel on Sky for what it was 15, 16 years ago when we did it. Probably nearer 20 years actually. Um, but what Sky said was, no, you can't just broadcast every now and then. You've got to fill 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we decided that we could fill it with content because we knew enough people that could create a radio show during the week. And then repeat it.
Okay.
So you would have maybe a show 5 nights a week on weekdays, 5 different people doing a show, and then it could be alternately repeated during the day, and that would just be a way of filling up the channel when we weren't broadcasting something live. And my mate that works at the company rang me up and he said, "Can you do a touring car show? Can you do a touring car show for a couple of hours on Tuesday?"
Yeah.
And I wasn't overly keen because I remember thinking at the time, this sounds like it's something that isn't going to earn any money and it's going to be an awful lot of effort. And he said, you can call it Tin Top Tuesday. So it was his idea. He came up with the idea. He's a creative kind of guy. And we did it. And I didn't think anyone would listen. and we did it after the media day. We did the first show after the media day in 2005.
Wow.
And we got the figures back from Sky, and a lot of people were listening. So we thought, oh, okay, well, we're kind of committed to this. And we used to do it every week. And it wasn't just British touring cars. We had DTM people on, World Touring Car people on, World Rallying people on. And we quickly expanded it to 2 hours every Tuesday. And then the following year, I actually thought doing it every week is really hard work. So if we could limit it, I think we did it every week for maybe 2 seasons, and then we made it just after British touring car rounds because it was easier to do 10 meetings a year and make it a really good show rather than every week and it be a bit of a diluted show. So it started out as just a way of filling the airwaves and ended up sort of growing into. There were a few years that we didn't do it in the middle. So I couldn't get a sponsor. So we were firstly sponsored by Renault. Renault sponsored it when Renault were in touring cars. And then we were sponsored by Toyota. And Toyota sponsored it for quite a while. We liked it because all the T's, Toyota Tin Top Tuesday, worked for me. I like the illustration. And they were a brilliant sponsor. They were responsive for probably 4 years, 5 years, something like that. And then we had a few sponsors for just a year, and now Autoglim that have been sponsoring the show for 8 years, which is absolutely incredible. You couldn't ask for any more from the sponsor, really. They've just been fantastic. So yeah, it will carry on as long as people are listening, and as long as
I'm sure there will be. But I think like what I struggle with is the off season, like the summer breaks and the winter breaks. I struggle with content for here.
It's hard work.
It's like, I don't earn money for this. I do it as a project.
You do it, to enjoy it.
I do it to enjoy it. But then what people do, like the adoring fan base that I have, we have a chat about, we either do general chit chat, or we do stuff like we had Mikey Doble on after the tyre test in July.
Oh, good lad.
And I was thinking, how on earth have I managed to do this? And I think I get bigger and better, and people realise it's my opinions and my thoughts, and not just like, I hate to say like what the media or what people do, but you guys do a bit bigger, better job than I probably would do if I was doing it myself, reporting in the pit lane like you do or whatever ITV do, But to do it from the back of my own thoughts and opinions, people think this is mad. It's like, talk to me about super touring like years ago. I can easily look up on the internet and then think, yeah, that's exactly what happened this meeting or that meeting, way before I even started watching it. And for someone for someone that's like 34, like myself, that's just turned 34, it's a massive achievement. People think, how on earth do you know all this and how do you know that? The internet's a fascinating place.
So how long have you been following?
24 years, 25 next year.
Have you really? Yeah. Wow.
It's mad.
So you know a lot. You know a lot through your own research, your own memory, I guess. Yeah. I mean, to do the job that we do, there's for every weekend, there's pretty much a day of research and homework, if you like, prep for the weekend. So you put one day aside that you sit at the computer and update stats and all that kind of stuff. And although with some of our touring cars and the sport races, the championships themselves supply a lot of stats, but if you're not doing it yourself, it doesn't go in here. No. So you have to sit and do your own homework really for it to go in, so that when you're talking at the weekend, you actually remember what happened last meeting, 2 meetings ago, 3 meetings ago. Yeah, just kind of a refresher of your memory, really.
Yeah, I think with me, sometimes when I'm doing like reviews or previews about the meetings that are coming up or what has happened, I struggle really 9 times out of 10 to remember every bit of detail. And it's like, but then I jog my memory. I think in my head, okay, such and such, like Ash Sutton won the championship. But then to think how he was going to do it in the races, how the permutations and everything, I can't work that out because it is so difficult to literally work out in my head how he's going to do it.
Yes, yeah.
That's something I really struggle with, is working out where he needs to finish, what points wise, etc. But
Oh no, it does my head in. I'm not particularly good
no,
at mathematics,
I'm
so
not either. But
no, I leave it to other
what makes
people.
me laugh is the fact is everyone is like all together and trying to help each other out with it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I don't say, right, okay, Ash needs to finish this place, that place, whatever. I say he's going to win it because he potentially has enough points. But then people say to me, well, what happens if he doesn't? Well, he doesn't win it. But this season, and I'm going to just touch on it now, it's never disappointed me this year. There's been times where it has, because inside, but I don't air it out. I think, sometimes like the hybrid, in my opinion, isn't 100%, but that's just my own opinion.
So why is it you would say that, Andy? Why do you think that?
I don't know, because to me, the ITV4 coverage, there's no disrespect to people that do media and all this, but it's with the way it's registered. So, for example, you got the blue light in that rear quarter of the car, in the rear window. You don't, half the time when you're trackside, you don't see it being, when you don't see it. What they don't tell you is whether the car's got hybrid or how much usage potentially it has on the car.
Okay.
I think they
Right.
should have, and this is my opinion, I've said this before, they should have an LED light above the driver's race number that goes from green to red and completely empty.
Right.
Just make it more easier for fans to know that the car's got hybrid.
So obviously I'm not watching trackside. I'm down.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't see the TV coverage or anything like that. But we've got that info on the timing screen. So the TSL timing screen. If we've got the high definition version of TSL, then there's one column which changes colour, and it tells you how much hybrid they've got left to deploy.
Yeah.
So what really you're saying is that the TV coverage would be made way better if those graphics were carried over onto ITV screen.
Like that, and something to give the people who are trackside a better idea of how much usage is there.
Yeah, well, that's a really cool idea. I mean, for trackside people, that's down to us really to let people trackside know.
I'm not having a dig about that. I'm just saying,
but you can't.
It would be better if the cars had some sort of idea. Something telling exactly how it is. You know, it's.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And it's something I've really struggled with since it came in last year. Last year you saw the likes of some cars. Let's say, for example, Robo didn't have it at Donington last year, and then it was like, well, hang on, why is ITV saying he had it when he didn't? You know,
right.
And that's what confuses me, whether the car's got it or whether it hasn't. You know, and that's something I've got to slowly adapt to. You know, because I just remember I've been seeing the Super Touring and I've seen all array of regulations been thrown in, and I think hybrid to me is sort of a new thing to get my head around.
Yeah. I mean, it's new for all of us, but the TSL column has been really helpful. It's been really, really useful. But what I reckon that's a really valid point, and maybe something that should be fed back to someone at ITV, which is really simple to do. If they're showing one car in particular, it would be easy to pull that information off TSL and to show it on the graphic. So now, Andy, tell me how. So I can see people are mentioning things in the comments, but they disappear too quickly. So I saw someone from, I saw Sheila said something. Hello, Sheila. And I saw the hard compounds said something backing up the fact that you'd fail if you didn't do enough preparation, which is absolutely right. But I don't know how can I get all the comments up? another technical
you're gonna have to go through
query.
them one by one. I have to scroll.
Yeah, but I can't get them. So they just flash up on the bottom of the screen.
Weird. I don't know.
And they're, oh, hang on, touch this. Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
I wish I was more prepared, mate. But you know.
I've got my my social media guru with me telling me how to do it. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon says tape the screen. I think Sharon meant tap the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I've done it. Sheila, we're big fans and you do an amazing job. Thank you, Sheila. That's really kind of you to say so. Okay, I'm going to do this tapping the screen bit now. now I know how to do it, and Sharon has corrected it to an emoji of a tap. Hi, Wayne. You're very kind as well. Thank you. That's really kind.
I think there's a lot of people, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I try and read the comments at a million miles an hour when I'm just doing a live video myself, and it's like, I can't catch up.
No, I know, it's really hard to do. The fun of a live stream, the hard compound. Yeah, absolutely right.
But yeah,
I will try and keep up with the comments, because it's really cool that people are taking a bit of time out to listen to us chewing the fat about touring cars and all that kind of stuff.
But yeah.
Okay, so Sheila, so Harvey Kersley Racing is my son, who races in the Junior Saloon Car Championship. His last race is on the 4th and 5th of November. That'll be at Brands Hatch, won't it? Yeah, truck meeting at Brands Hatch. Well, in which case, Sheila, I'm coming. So normally I would be commentating at that meeting, but for the last couple of meetings, a couple of years, I haven't been able to commentate because the touring car dinner is on the Saturday night. And I do quite a lot of work with the touring car awards night, so I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to not do it. So I can't commentate at Brands Hatch, but I'm going on the Sunday just to watch, because I love trucks and I love the fireworks. I love Legends. So that yeah, that's on Sunday the 5th. So it's actually bonfire night, and we've got this big fireworks display, truck finale, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and Sharon says, thank you for playing the song on Tin Top Tuesday. Sharon requested a song on the final edition of Tin Top Tuesday, because that's one of the important things about the show, Andy, is that it's not just about racing. It's I play music, and music is the other big thing in my life, and I started working in radio, in music radio, so that's so I always wanted it to be I always wanted it to be a huge part of the show, that it was a music show with talk as well. And in fact, one of the things I love about doing it is that lots of people over the course of a race weekend would come up and say, oh, I love that song that you played, what was it, why don't you say what they are? Probably because I forget. And so somebody asked me at Brands Hatch, it was Ronan Pearson's granddad, came up to me, and he said, I love the music that you play on the show. Have you ever thought about doing a like a Spotify playlist of the songs that you've played on the show over the year? And so what I've done over the last couple of weeks has been to look back over the software and work out if I can find every song that we've played this year, and I could go back previous years as well. So yeah, that's something I quite like to do. It'd be quite a nice thing to do over the winter, really. And we've recently reactivated the Facebook page. I haven't, I say, I've had nothing to do with it, because as you've seen this evening, I'm not terribly good on.
Well,
on
we won't worry
it.
about you not being good on technology. There's people out there that ain't.
So I have someone working on the Facebook page who's absolutely brilliant and knows what to do. So the Facebook page for Tin Top Tuesday over the winter is going to be a sort of a quite a busy little space.
I think you're
And
going to
then
be keeping occupied, aren't you?
yeah, we've got loads of things planned, and then we are going to do a Christmas show on the 19th of December. That Autoglym told me today that they're happy for us to do it. So we'll do Tinsel Top Tuesday on the 19th of December. So a bit of a Christmas special.
I'll tune in for that. I'm sure I will. I do try and make sure that I do once in a while, and just to listen if I'm.
It's a big commitment, Andy, because it's always over 2 hours. Big commitment.
Yeah, but I think most people are going to be interested if you get a book, though.
Yeah, you're right. Hello, Kevin. Evening, chaps. Been watching a bit. Has joined late. Well, it's great to have you. Great to have you watching. And Wayne says that would be awesome. Playlist on Spotify. Love the show, and the Champions one was brilliant. Well, there's more. Hang on, I can click on more. Looking forward to the Christmas show. Absolutely brilliant, Wayne. Thank you very much indeed. Is there? Thank you, Laura. There's a bit of book chat a little bit earlier on. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Oh yeah, no, I can scroll. Oh, that's good. So, oh yeah, this is good. Paul Goodall. So, one of my dear friends from Silverstone and Rockingham is listening with Tanya, who is another dear friend of mine from Silverstone and Rockingham as well. Hello.
It's weird how many
Good to have
people
them.
who join this live video, you know.
There's lots of people that are commenting. Thank you for telling me that I tap the screen and scroll down. That's really helpful. So Jamie says, yeah, well, that makes me blush. So thank you, Jamie. You're very kind. And Jamie does some commentary on the Fun Cup and says he's learnt a lot from me. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there is stuff to learn, but the biggest key is just being yourself. I mean, you've probably found that yourself, Andy, is that
It's
being
like,
yourself and being your own personality.
I think with me, if I'm honest, like I don't try and hide behind the autism spectrum because obviously suffering a mild form of it. But people realise how clever I am and how like enthusiastic I really am with these things. But then what makes me laugh is when like I have to get myself into the zone, as I call it, before going live because I'm presenting myself to the world. I'm presenting myself to
Of course
people
you
that
are.
love motorsport, and it's like I've got to listen to some music. I video myself having a bit of a dance and pretending to sing the song, and I'm like, I'll watch it back on my phone later on when I've done it. I'll laugh at myself. I think, why on earth did I do that? But I've realised it's who I am, and it's great. And I've obviously with my
You have to
partner,
be yourself.
yeah, and having my
That's what you have
partner
to
to
do.
support me with
You
it
have
as
to be
well.
yourself.
You know, it's like it's kind of hard to explain to people, to the world, exactly how I feel in a touring car perspective, attending race meetings, going up, getting autographs, meeting the drivers. You know, it's like even when I go and see Dan Robot, I still think, am I really going to bother him that much? But then he has a bit of time to talk to me, and I can give him credit for that.
Oh, he's one of the absolute stars. He's brilliant. He's got time for everyone.
Yeah, I think
He's
he's
just
a great guy, and the best thing about it is when I've seen met his family as well, and it's you know I can't ask for more. You know, and it's we have that connection where you know I treat a lot of people with respect. I give people their time. I give people you know whatever they need. But then when I look at it, I think for me going trackside is a big thing. I made the Manford journey from Kendal to Snetterton 2019 when I saw you that time, and I realised, hang on, how on earth have I managed to get the train and then get myself to Snetterton for that weekend with all sorts of array of difficulties on the way down and on the way back. And then I managed to do it again this year and then make the hour and a half trip across to Croft. So it's like, how on earth have I done it?
yeah, wow. But you did.
And it's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of like
So you should do.
attending touring cars. And it's like WRC, I attended that 2009 and 2010, and you were there in 2009.
In Wales.
Yeah. And
I know.
I was like, how on earth? And I even tagged you in the photo, and I've still got that photo.
Oh,
I've still got
wow.
and I've still got the photo of me and you on the podium at Croft in 2010. Like, like, what the heck's going
Brilliant.
on there?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So whereabouts did you go to the rally in Wales? Whereabouts were you?
Um, I remember going to Walters Arena for the first year.
Yeah. Well, that was good.
That was a
That was really
good
good.
stage, and then we did the Cardiff Bay Super Special the year after.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was that the year that the hospitality
I
unit
can't
blew away?
remember top of my head. It
That,
might have been.
that's one I remember. I didn't know how to commentate on that. I didn't know whether I was meant to shut up and not say a word or, yeah.
I remember being there because obviously now that I'm based in Cumbria, supporting Malcolm Wilson's lads
Of
because
course, yeah.
with M Sport being up the road, we support them, and it's crazy because WRC never. When I was growing up, it used to be touring cars, that. But then WRC got bigger and better, and for me to decide what was going to happen,
Yes.
And I think if I remember rightly, I studied away from home at a college outside Preston, and they got me into rallying. They said, "Oh, you might like touring cars, but we're going to get you into rallying." And I since then I got hooked onto it, and then it's another thing I'd love to go back to. But then it's like there's no British round of the WRC anymore, so it's a
No.
bit of a kick in the teeth thinking,
But
well, where else would I go?
did I not see, Andy, did I not see a headline in Motorsport News? Was it this week
I
or
can't
last week?
remember off the top of my
That
head.
international rallying is returning to the UK next
Could
year.
be.
I think I did.
I think,
It's not the World
no.
Rally Championship, but it would be jolly good if international rallying could come back. And the hard compound says, I think the hospitality roof was 2010, right? Yeah, it was. All I remember is a bit of a moment. I don't know what to talk about. Oh, Divan is here. Hello, Divan. He's a regular listener to Tin Top Tuesday. I'll probably miss the Christmas edition of Tin Top Tuesday. I'll probably be out Christmas caroling with my local Young Farmers Club. But hang on, keep scrolling up. But hopefully there'll be a date change. Well, you can always hear the podcast, Divan, and I like the fact that you're going out carol singing. That's really good. Sheila says, could our son have a photograph with you on Sunday? That would be at Brands Hatch. Yeah, of course. That's easy. I'll be around the sort of paddock and the pit lane on the. And then Divan says something in Welsh. It's the something valley in
I
West
can't
Wales.
pronounce those.
I can't say that.
I could try, but I think I'll butcher it with the West Midlands twang as well.
I've only just learned how to say Divan's name, let alone say names of places in Wales. It's the right. I'm not even going to try. That's ridiculous. There's way too many consonants in that word. That's not real. And Darryl says, "Hi Alan, great to have you here tonight. I always enjoy listening to you at Snetterton, my local racetrack. A weekend I will always remember is Snetterton British Superbikes 2022. Immediately after Her Majesty the Queen passed away, you were part of the circuit commentary team who did an amazing job in unique circumstances. How was that weekend for you, and how difficult was it? I was only there as a fan for all 3 days, and the atmosphere was surreal." Who was this from?
Darryl.
This was from Darryl. Darryl, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. That was really weird, and we had a meeting on Saturday morning on the circuit with Stuart Higgs and all of the commentary team, and we agreed that adverts would be inappropriate to play over the course of the weekend, and music would be inappropriate to play, so it would only be speech over the course of the weekend. But we all agreed that I think we were all more saddened by the passing of the Queen than we thought we would be, and it was a really somber atmosphere, and it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't nice, and the only levity that was provided over the course of the whole weekend was when we saw there was a television camera on the back of the circuit, and thank goodness no one was hurt, but a horse got on the track during a session, a horse got free and got onto the circuit, and it kind of all of a sudden reminded us of what we were doing. We were at an active live race meeting, and although everyone was pretty upset about the Queen, we need to knuckle down and realise what's going on here, because that could have been blooming horrible. A horse on a track when there were bike, and I think it was superbikes that were on circuit at the time. It was quickly contained. The bike stopped running, and the horse was sort of caught. But that was, you're right, Daryl. It was a really surreal weekend, not just because of the Queen, but an incident. How often do you hear about something like that?
Mad, isn't it?
Really, not very often. No. Yeah, that was a pretty weird weekend, all told. And didn't they then? Wasn't that the one where they did the superbikes? Didn't they have a bit of argy-bargy on the safety car on the restart?
I believe so.
Final race of the weekend. Yeah, there was argy-bargy.
I will remember it more than I will, because he was there. So
there was safety car argy-bargy. I'm sure there was. But really, really good question. Divan says it's going to be around at the ERC Championship. That's good.
Right, yeah.
Sheila, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Would love to echo what Daryl said about Sness in exceptionally difficult circumstances. You did a good job, you and Duncan and Larry. Yeah, it was a weird weekend, and we had to come up with a plan of how to attack that weekend, and it was really tricky, and everyone was way sadder than I think any of us thought we were going to be. But yeah, that's part of the job, isn't it? You just you crack on with whatever circumstances you have, and just try to reflect what everybody's feeling. And that weekend, everyone was sad. Everyone was sad.
Yeah, it hit home quite really.
Yeah,
really to the whole country. It was like, I remember going to work and then coming home that evening and hearing that the Queen's died. I was like, what the heck's going on? And then it kind of dawned on me, like, you can't take life for granted, you know. Everyone says, like, you're short and everything like that. But then it's like, for someone that's run this country for so many years to then sadly pass away, you think, what's going to happen? So
it was like everybody's mum, everybody's grandma, whatever age you were, you could relate her to something within your family.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been for years with the television production work that I do. I've been on the list of people to be called if the Queen ever died. Then I was due to receive a call to work on the production of the television production of her funeral, and I did get a call. So I worked for a week with a broadcasting company on the part of the outside broadcast. So when the funeral car was going from Hyde Park to Windsor, there was an outside broadcast, so cameras dotted all the way along the line, and I was involved in that. And I must confess, and I was working at the hub, the production hub on the day of the funeral, and I didn't sleep the night before. I was terribly nervous that everything that I was doing a technical job. I was terribly nervous that it was all gonna happen, and in the end, it did all work. But it kind of made you realise just what a monumental event it was. This person that has been with us for all our lives isn't with us anymore. Yeah. It was horrible and really difficult to. I always assumed that sporting events in that case would be cancelled. Yeah. I don't know why I thought that. I just thought they wouldn't happen. But rules have changed and laws have changed over the years. So
it's kind of weird, because obviously, just to go slightly off topic, but obviously watching the football, like, you know, and it was like that they didn't have the football when the Queen died, just as a mark of respect. But like Daryl said, you guys were working at Stetson for BSB, and everyone was there. And Daryl told me this, that to cancel it at such short notice would have been so much harder to try and get it rearranged later on in the year. But it's mad to think that, you know, some sports went ahead, but then others didn't. But then obviously you guys know professionally how to handle that. So, you know, hats off to you guys for that.
You just have to kind of reflect. It's easy with something like that because I was really sad. So it was genuinely, I was miserable, and I think everyone else was pretty miserable and pretty shocked. So you're just reflecting really what everyone else is feeling. And the hard compounder said, yep, the argy bargy was with Brad Ray, Jason O'Halloran and Tommy Bridewell. I think you're absolutely right. I remember it. Divan says, what do you think about the new qualifying format for 2024? Yeah, bring it on.
That's gonna be insane. That I tweeted today when I saw it. I said it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be an unknown.
Good word.
Spicy. It's gonna be spicy, and then it's gonna spice up race day because any cars can start anywhere on the grid.
Correct.
It's gonna be like, hang on a minute. So we got like Team Hard with the Cupra if they run it next year, somewhere mid pack. You never know. It's gonna be carnage. I know that for a fact, but
Alan Gow doesn't just think these things up. He thinks about them for a very long time, and he knows what he's doing.
He thinks about it for a long time, but then it's like he springs it like a surprise. It's like, I don't know how to put it. He puts it in a box, and then he thinks, "Oh, pass it round like pass the parcel," and then bang, he springs it open.
I've got I think it's going to work really well.
I think it will. And all, to be fair.
Yeah. Tracy Hickley says, "What is your most memorable race of all time?" Really, really simple one, that, and it is a touring car race, and it was when Matt Neal won £250,000 off Alan Gow for winning a race overall. In the Nissan Primera. Alan Gow offered an incentive of £250,000 to the first independent driver that could beat all the manufacturer drivers and win a race overall. And Matt Neal did it at Donington Park. First time of asking. We had this massive cheque, which was written out for £250,000, that Alan didn't think he'd ever have to give out, and he had to give it out straight away at the start of the season.
He wasn't planning that, was he?
He really wasn't planning that, no. And it was just lovely because Matt's father was there on the podium, and, you know, proper family team dynamics, and it was all the emotions that were going on. There you go, exactly that.
Yeah.
And it was all the emotions that were going on in the team. So that was my favourite race because I called the podium for that, and it was Matt was had already become a friend of mine, and it was a really lovely event.
Some of that goes down in BTCC folklore for the rest of the years, because that's what started me watching touring cars that year Matt Neal won. And I didn't know that until the end of the season review at Christmas, that he actually won a race outright. And then a couple of rounds later at Alton Park, when I first went as a 10-year-old lad, maybe 9 or 10, I can't remember. I asked my dad how old he was, he can't remember. But seeing that Nissan Primera, the Red Dynamics one, I thought, that's a car. But then I didn't realise it was a race winner that year until later on. I was like, what?
No. There's a good comment, actually, Andy, from the hard compound saying, cracking IndyCar style qualifying incoming. So Alan Gow likes IndyCar a lot. He follows it a lot and watches it a lot. And the reason I know that is sometimes when I've had dinner with him in his motorhome over the course of a weekend, we've got Indy qualifying on or whatever. And if I start talking, he'll generally say, "Shut up, I'm watching." So I shut up. Justin, evening, Alan, from the Orange Army. Evening, Justin, and the Orange Army. And there was another one. I think Sharon asked if I had seen the comment about the tune. No, I haven't. Hang on, I'll scroll up. Hang on. Have you seen the comment with the BTCC tune? No, I haven't. How far do I have to scroll up? quite a long way. Hang on, still going. How would you buy? Quite a lot. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Do you have a favourite tune that you like playing at the start of the BTCC racing? Mine is and always will be "Let's Go." Gets the race trending going. I agree, Sharon, and I loved it. Hello, Peter Morton. Is that the legend champion, Peter Morton? I think it probably is, isn't it, Pete? Yeah, I really like "Let's Go" as well. But we used it for so many years. That was the thing, and then eventually. Alan said, "Oh, it's time for a change. We can't play that forever," which is right. But he does the same with. He does exactly the same with rules. He never keeps rules or formats the same for year upon year. He tweaks them. He tweaks them all the day. It's an ever moving championship. And so therefore, the fact that we've now got hybrids on the cars, that's to reflect where automotive is as far as the world is concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we weren't doing that, we wouldn't be moving. So
yeah,
you have to move on.
you have to
And the
move with
reason
the
why
change, don't you? And it's kind of like, obviously, when Super Touring was dying of death, you know, the cars were getting very expensive to repair or costing for parts and everything. And then obviously when was it 2001 when they had the Astra Coupe, the MGZS, and the Peugeot bright green 406 Coupe. To me, that was like, okay, that was like my third year of going to BTCC. So I was kind of thinking, well, I need to get my head around quickly, because if I don't, later on in life, when I want to talk about it, it's going to be a bigger task to get a hold of. But
I've just seen that Jordan from Thruxton has joined as well. Evening, Jordan. I don't know if you're going to drink all of those beers that I saw you with at Tesco this evening, but goodness me, you're having a good night if you are. Goodness me. Nice to see you here. Where was I? That's what I was going to say. The music, the reason we have Everybody Wants to Rule the World, the Tears for Fears song, as the green flag lap, it's one of Alan Gale's favourite tunes. It is also the ringtone on his phone. So it still amuses me that when he's doing the closing lap, three-minute ball, he does the closing lap in the Panamera. And if he's listening to the circuit radio and hears that song, apparently still he goes for his phone, which is fantastic. So long may that continue to happen.
right,
Long may it carry on.
all right, so what I'll do when I see him next year, I'll put it next to him. I'll put it on Spotify because it's on my playlist.
That's brilliant.
And I'll wind
It's
him
a
up.
brilliant song. It's a great song, and I love the idea that
It's a
he
good
always
tune.
goes.
It's like every time I hear it, I put it on the jukebox in the local pub just to put it on.
Yeah.
And every time I hear it, I picture myself like the cars are going on the green flag lap, and I think, you know, people look round and say, "Why have you put that on for?" Ah, well, guess what? I'll tell you the real reason.
Yeah, because it's good. It's got all those connotations for you. And Divan says, during the off-season, Alan, do you find out who's driving for who before the announcement is made public? Probably the safest thing for me to say on this one is no. The reality is that if I know the teams, then it's quite possible that they might have told me what they're planning or what's about to happen. But to be honest, I'd really rather they didn't, because if I know things that I'm not meant to say, I tend to say things, and then I worry, am I allowed to say this or not? And so if I haven't got the information, it's a lot easier just to
I think
keep it
also
quiet.
there's a few things I've noticed in the past when I've like talked to like Dan Robot and people like Michael Priest and stuff like that. It's like you've got to be careful, because you ask them what's going to happen, but they have to say, no, I can't tell you that. And you think, come on, spill the beans a bit, because I want to. But then you can't. But then when you find out the announcement, it's like, I was quite pleased this year. It shocked me at first that Robo went to Napa. Obviously, with the demise of Dynamics not going to be on the grid. And I thought, hang on a minute. I had to re-watch the video that Napa put out, and I was thinking, and one of my mates messaged me who watches the live videos now and again. He said, "Oh, Robo's at Napa. Are you aware of that?" I said, "What?" So I had to re-watch it like 5 or 6 times to like say, "Yeah, that is him." I was like, what, you know? But then I support him wherever he goes. If he went to Accelerate, WSR, wherever,
yeah.
I'll support him regardless because he's a great guy.
So I'm just catching up with a couple of these. Can everyone trackside play Tears for Fears on their phones on the Green Flag Lab in 2024? That's a great idea. And Sharon agrees it's a good tune, but still prefer Let's Go, which again is it was a brilliant song, and yeah, I occasionally think I'd like to bring it back, but I won't be allowed because we move on. We never go back.
Move on with the future, not the past.
we do. Alan isn't particularly keen on looking back. He's much more about looking forward. And so it was really lovely this year when we had the very first ever super touring meeting at Brands Hatch, where loads of the old super touring cars were out. That he was there and he caught up with people like Paul Radisich, a mate of his from the other side of the world. And lots of other people as well. He was catching up with Alain Menu and all sorts. And it was he had a lovely time. He had a really nice time. It's not one for nostalgia particularly, but that particular weekend he loved it. I loved it as well. They're doing another one next year, final weekend of June, I think it is. Brands House. Blooming good meeting that was.
Do you think it'd be more popular to like go to other circuits apart from like Brands Hatch though?
Say that again, Andy.
Do you think it would be popular to go like to like Alton, Donington, and all the other touring car circuits? Because I know it's a Brands, but it would give like guys like us up in
the world. Are they not running a super touring meeting up at Donington next year?
I don't know.
I think they are.
I've not had a look. Maybe
I think I read somewhere that they were hoping to, or they were. I don't know, but yeah, there is talk of them doing it. Particularly, it's an MSV event. MSV have got a lot of circuits all the way around the country, so of course they would. They would definitely consider that. I think some of their feature meetings like the mini festival and stuff like that. I think they move those around, so the chances of moving super touring around. It was such a success. They're bound to want to try, I would have thought. And do you have a little go behind the wheel? What did you have a go behind the wheel of a tractor before or after the tractor run? This is because I went on a tractor run.
I noticed that today.
So that it was just the most brilliant feel-good thing to do on Saturday. And I reckon it was about 5 hours sitting in a tractor. It wasn't a hardship. I didn't realise how amazing tractors are nowadays. But Laura, who is known as telehandler Laura, because she operates the telehandler at Thruxton for touring car weekends, drives tractors, and gave me this opportunity to go along and sit as a passenger. And I didn't need to be awake at 4 o'clock, but I was awake at 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. I was like a kid on Christmas Eve. I was a complete pain bouncing around waiting to leave, and it was just the most wonderful day. And the reason it was wonderful is that kids love tractors. I did when I was a kid. I loved tractors and diggers and lorries and all that kind of stuff. And despite the fact it was pouring down with rain for certainly the first part of Saturday morning, they were lining the streets. They were waving and clapping, and it's a spectacle. And it was a feel-good event. And Laura was fantastic. She's a blooming good driver, and this thing is the size of the world, and it's going down little streets with cars parked on both sides of the road. I couldn't do it, but it was absolutely wonderful. And did I have a little go on it? No, of course I didn't, Divan, because I wouldn't be covered on insurance. But I might have done when I got back to the yard at the end of the day. I might have just had a little go back and forth, and it was brilliant. So I think I'm kind of up to date. Do you enjoy the pit lane walkabouts at touring car meetings? Is it hard to interview the drivers while they're signing autographs? I'll be completely honest. I don't enjoy doing it. for the simple reason that the pit lane walkabout is a time for the drivers to meet the fans. It's not a time for me to meet the fans, but to interview the drivers is important because not everyone goes on the pit lane walkabout. So the people that are still standing trackside or sitting trackside or whatever, they still need to be entertained. So I need to talk to the drivers, but I don't want to take up too much of their time. So I always try to make it an absolute minimum amount, maybe a minute with a driver. And that minute is a minute that I'm taking away from them meeting fans and doing autographs and selfies and doing all that kind of stuff. So no, I don't like it. And I once did get threatened in no uncertain terms at Croft Circuit that I interviewed Jason Plato, and so he turned around and did one of his, sometimes he does a lengthy interview.
Yeah.
He wants to talk, so he talks for a while. And he did one of those interviews with me, but he actually turned away from signing autographs. So turned to me and chatted to me. And while I was talking to him, the pit lane walkabout was brought to a stop, and the bloke that was in the front of the queue to get Jason's autograph didn't get Jason's autograph because I was talking to him. So the pit lane walkabout finished, Jason went back into the garage, and I walked into the pit lane to be met by a very angry man who wasn't very happy with me. So the only way that I could diffuse the situation and not get a thump was to offer to take the guy into the garage and meet Jason and get his autograph, because otherwise I think I would have had a bloody nose at very least.
It's a bit, no disrespect, but like, obviously, I did the pit lane walkabout for the first time in how many years this year when I went to Croft, and the amount of people that are there, like pushing and shoving to get drivers' autographs, you think, it's only it's only the amount of time that you're going to get in the pit lane anyway to see the drivers and stuff like that.
It is. It's the only time.
It's no disrespect to people that like the pit lane walkabout. I only did it because I want a few posters to go on the back wall here, and I was thinking to myself, the anxiety that I have with the autism to do a pit lane walkabout. I used to love it when I was a kid, but now that I'm like 34 years old, it kind of sets it off thinking, hang on a minute, I haven't got much time, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I was
a bit panicky.
I was doing people that I wanted to meet because I wanted to get myself known to Mikey Doble face to face, catch with Dan Rowbottom for a bit, and it was like, got to get the drivers you really want to meet. But then it's not long enough. But then I know why it's not long enough. But then you can't. It's all manic. You think the one end of the pit lane to another. You can't do it in.
So you need to come up really for the entire length of the pit lane walkabout. You need to work out 2 drivers that you definitely want to see.
Yeah, and that's what I pictured in my head. I said, all right, I've got to do the Napa boys because they're the team I followed this year.
Yeah.
The Team Hard guys because the likes of Michael Crease and everyone else is there, and then of course Power Max because that's how I planned it. But when I go to Snetterton, I make a weekend of it. So I go like the Saturday, which is the better day for me to catch up with everyone and stuff like that. And if I attend Croft, then I sometimes either don't bother or I just think, just go for it. But it's not like there's anyone to blame, but I think the timing's kind of like, I remember when I was a kid, and this is a really embarrassing moment, you can laugh all you want. Everyone knows this. I was queuing up for pit lane walkabout Donington Park 2000 with my dad when I was about 11. I said to him, I need to go to the bathroom. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. I was like, here we go. Nearly got to the front of the queue for the pit lane walkabout. Went to the toilet, got back, gate had closed. I was like, oh, why did I just say I needed to go to the toilet? Why couldn't I just wait? Well, I won't let that go. I don't think my old mum will let that go either. But yeah.
There was a couple more messages, and You're good pals with Alan. Were you able to spend much time with him at Super Touring at Brands? A little bit, actually. I did get to spend a bit of time. It was lovely to see him. Really cool to see him. And I spent a bit of time with him chatting on the mic during the day on Saturday and Sunday, but also on Saturday evening over in the Kentigern. We did a sort of presentation and we chatted for quite a while. It was brilliant to see him. I haven't seen him for ages and ages. And Tracy said, now it's silly season, do you think who do you think will be a big mover next season? Do you know, I haven't heard anything. I've heard no silly season rumours at all, Tracy. Nothing yet. And Divan says, being raised on a farming background, I'm quite used to being around tractors and driving the telehandler on my farm. Finding out more and more people that are into this. I had to drive it a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't driven it for a few months due to my knee operation, but I've driven it quite a lot over the last few days because I've been mucking out the cattle shed. So I'm used to it, thank God. I'm finding all these people that now, after today, posting a picture of a tractor, people that work on farm. So Rob, one of the ITV cameramen, he said something about he's on a farm. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Everyone
they're
seems
trying
to be into
convert you into a tractor boy, mate. That's what they're trying to do.
Clearly. Which BTCC driver would you like to see come back for one season? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'll tell you one driver that I'd like to see back, and it will never happen because sadly he passed away. But David Leslie, he was a fantastic bloke, a mega driver, did loads for young drivers, particularly Scottish drivers, to start their careers and all that kind of stuff. If I could have one driver back, I'd have David Leslie. Blooming good bloke. Should at some stage have been a champion, but never got the chance. No,
I think that's a fair understatement. There's quite a few there's quite a few in my list, but I've got too many in my head to rack out my brain.
No, there are quite a few. There are quite a few. Right, Andy, I'm going to have to go.
No worries, mate.
Because
it's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
And, I have to start. For somebody that doesn't enjoy cooking, I have to now create something to eat. So,
right.
Yeah, which will be a very simple something to eat, I have to tell you. But it's been really cool, Andy, and thank you for asking me on. Really appreciate it.
No problem at all. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, mate. It's something that I thought, being the off season, why not? And hopefully we'll catch up in the new year, and
that'd be great.
I'll try and get some a sticker sorted for you. I'll give you it next time I see you at a circuit.
Oh, brilliant! And what you're doing with this, Andy, is great. You keep cracking on and trying to find the content over the winter because it's not easy. It's not easy.
I'm trying to think and trying to get more people on. I'm trying to get, obviously, of course, my mate Mr. Rowbottom, but he's too tired with his 2.5-year-old daughter, I think, or doing whatever else. I'm sure he'll do it at some point, but it's been
all these nice people that have been watching and joining in tonight, Andy, are all saying nice things as well. So Sharon, Wayne, the Hard Compound, Divan, Sharon, Tracy, Daryl, all saying very nice. And so it's been a really nice place to come this evening, Andy. So thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been nice to literally catch up with you and find out more a bit about you, really, because we don't get enough time at the circuit.
No, I know it's all a bit rushed, isn't it, over the course of the weekend?
It is what it is.
It is what it is, but we could do this again.
We can.
It's been really good fun.
You can always come on anytime you want, mate. We can arrange it. I would say that's me guests. So
thank you, Andy.
No problem.
Thank you. Absolutely brilliant, and thank you to everyone else.
Yep, no worries, mate. Take it easy.
Cheers, everyone. Night.
So there you go, guys. Alan Hyde has told us a bit about his motorsport, a bit about British touring cars, a bit of banter, a bit of fun. I hope you've really enjoyed this, because I've got to wrap it up myself, because we've been live for near enough an hour and 10 minutes. I hope you've really found this informative. I have. Do you know what? I am absolutely buzzed to everything for tonight. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'm really really, you know, I'm not speechless, but I feel like tonight has been one of the best. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it. It's, you know, to plan stuff like this out the blue, um, it means a lot, and it means a lot. You guys asking questions. Sorry if we didn't see any of them. You know, chat goes mad. But if you have not liked and followed Hopper's Much More Vlogs, please do, because I'd love to have you guys. Don't forget, we are live on Friday for the last live video of the week. It is, of course, the Brands Hatch season finale review. Good luck sleeping. I'll have to get a strong coffee and not put too much coffee beans in. But no, I feel really privileged to have you guys. And then next week is, of course, the 2-hour season review of the British Touring Cars. But yes, thank you yet again to Alan Hyde for joining us this evening. I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys have. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now, guys. But thank you so much to everyone that's commented and had amazing questions. If I haven't seen any comments and I've not reacted, don't worry, I'll go through them and I will react to your comments so I know that I've seen them as well, because I normally do. But I'm really glad people have enjoyed it. You know, it reached quite a lot of people watching at the time. And I tell you what, I'll catch you all on Friday. If not, don't panic, because you guys are still valued. And yes, before I go, I'd like to personally thank all of you for being here recently. You know, like I say, I had a bit of a tough week last week. I'm not going to go into too much details, but with you guys being here and supporting me through it, I can't thank you enough. And yes, I've got to think of stuff for the winter period because it is going to be a long winter. But yeah, we'll see you Friday. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being such amazing people and being very patient with me. You know, I kind of felt before I went live, I felt, is it going to go well? Is it not? But it had. I felt really top of the world. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I will see you Friday at 8 p.m. And if I don't see you at 8 p.m. on Friday, I'll see you Monday at 8 p.m. Have a good rest of your week, guys. Thank you yet again for tuning in, and I'll see you very soon. And guess what, guys? Please, if you are new around here, please do like and follow, because there is loads of amazing more content coming very soon. Excuse me. And yeah, I'm just going to see. I can't really wrap up the live video when there's loads of you. Yeah, I can. I'm joking. But no, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties we had at the start. But yes, you guys are absolute stars. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Until Friday. Ta-ra.